So according to TMZ, Real Housewives of Atlanta star Kenya Moore will not be returning for the rest of season 16 of the reality TV show. However, they're not saying that Kenya has been fired, but taking a break.
Here we go now.
Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. Boston, if you enjoy content like this where we talk about people like Kenya Moore, Real Housewives, reality television, and pop culture news, come to our Boston show this Thursday at City Winery. Tickets are available in the description. And if you are in Nashville or Atlanta, I'm coming down there July 11th and then July 12th. And then I'll be in Seattle on August 30th. More information on the Kempire After Dark live tour will be available in the description. So we've been covering and following this story in regards to Kenya Moore. We were just talking earlier today during our recent live that Kenya had a lot to celebrate because she's officially divorced from that man, Mark Daly. And she doesn't have to pay him spousal support. If anything, he has to pay her child support of like $3,000 a month. $2,000 for Brooklyn and then $1,000 towards education. And look, we all thought that she might lose her house because of this divorce. But as you also know, we also have been covering the story that Kenya Moore allegedly shared explicit photos of Brittany Edie, the newcomer to Real Housewives of Atlanta season 16, at her grand opening for Kenya Moore Hair Spa. Well, since then, so many different rumors and reports. We even had leaked footage and word on the street allegedly that Kenya Moore was seeking legal counsel in regards to suing the people that leaked footage of her talking explicitly about Brittany Edie at her event. Also shared photos of her having a poster board that said insurance fraud hoe. So a lot of people have been having the conversation on social media. Entertainment Tonight came out recently and confirmed that Kenya Moore had been suspended indefinitely and possibly may not return for the rest of the season. When I heard them say it, because I know allegedly, I'll just say, have close ties to NBC Universal, I said, oh, this doesn't look good. This doesn't look good. And no matter how anyone feels on either side of this debate, because there have been so many comparisons. Well, what about Tom Sandoval? Or what about what happened on Real Housewives of New Jersey? Sidebar, on Real Housewives of New Jersey, both Jennifer Aydin and Danielle Cabral were suspended during the investigation. But I know now people are going to say, well, they weren't fired. Well, we'll see what next season brings. We don't know yet. A lot of conversation has been going back and forth on what's happening with Kenya. But the thoughts that Kenya Moore had been suspended indefinitely, my HR head, and then the accusations of what was out there, I said, this doesn't look good. If Kenya does return, it's because Bravo's desperate for this season to be successful. But Bravo has decided, because of all of their legal troubles and accusations ever since the reality TV reckoning and multiple lawsuits, they do not want the smoke. They do not want to have this trouble. However, Bravo, very much like anyone in entertainment, is never going to say, oh, this person was fired. They're going to give you some sweet way of saying it. This person has decided to part ways. You've seen it. I'm breaking down that fourth wall for you guys because we are living in a different era. This is not how we were in the 90s. We have social media. People are fired. They just say, oh, we did not renew your contract. Or there's just so many different ways that they come up with letting you know. And I've said this about the whole putting shows on pause or putting reality TV stars on pause. It's just another way of saying you're fired until we want to bring you back. So this is what TMZ is reporting. And we did already report that. I forgot who reported it. I can't remember the initial report that Kenya Moore. Oh, Bravo and Cocktails. You know, we love to cite our sources here. They were the first ones to report that Kenya had been fired, reportedly. But now TMZ, who has deep connections too, are confirming that Kenya will not be returning for the rest of the season. So they say this: Kenya Moore is officially putting down her peach for this next season at least, because she ain't coming back to Real Housewives of Atlanta. And this could possibly turn ugly. Oh, wait. Sources with direct knowledge tell TMZ Kenya will not return as a cast member for the rest of production for the new season 16, after she was sidelined indefinitely for allegedly unveiling explicit posters of newcomer Brittany Eady seemingly performing use magical language, a professional. We'll call it professional, a throwback to Wendy Williams, all right? With something in her mouth, for those that don't remember that. So they continue. They said, we're told Kenya has not been fired from RHOA. Instead, we're told both sides have agreed she's going to take a break from the show for now. Our sources say Bravo is keeping the door open for a future return. However, we're also told Kenya is considering legal options at this point because she's not happy with how this whole mess unfolded. So let me just unpack what that is saying. They're going to say publicly that they are parting ways. They both decided that she's not going to come back. If that was true, she would not be seeking legal options. She's seeking legal options because this is not her choice. She does not want to give up this job, this big paying job. So if you watched our live earlier, we explained to you how much money, because in the divorce, we found out that Kenya was making like almost $90,000 a month from RHOA. So no one wants to give this up. And it's an opportunity to promote this hair salon, this spa that she opened. So now this spa is probably not going to be featured on the show. And I know a lot of you don't realize this happened the third week into production. It's not going to be hard for them to edit Kenya out. It's unfortunate because no one can deny that Kenya has brought memorable moments over the years. But did Kenya go too far if what they say she did, she went too far, because people get caught up in the whole entertainment reality TV aspect. Candy was defending this behavior.
Like, I don't like the fact that they suspended Kenya. Yeah. I know a lot of people was like, she shouldn't have shown that. But this is Housewives. Like, how many times we done did something that you think somebody shouldn't do? So who made the rules? Like, why y'all all of a sudden got such an issue with somebody doing something crazy to somebody?
Believe it or not, that drama.
If it was in the public, if it was in the internet, and the girl came at her, it's like, okay, well, that was the you don't get to choose how she come back. So I just wasn't feeling all of that. But hey, we'll see when it come on TV.
Yes.
And people said, you're a hypocrite because look what happened with the whole Phaedra situation. My biggest issue here that people keep forgetting, I know this is your entertainment, but this is still a work environment. This is still a work environment because Bravo, NBC Universal, anything goes wrong in a work environment, they could be sued by their employees or anyone that's involved in their production, because it's still a work environment and it's still mandated by those laws within those states. So they said, in case you're unfamiliar with the drama that started when Brittany allegedly threatened Kenya earlier during filming of upcoming season, with Brittany allegedly using the word pow, 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 she used the actual word allegedly. She's denied that though. In combo with Kenya during one of their feuds. Sources close to production tell TMZ the claim Brittany threatened to use a weapon was in fact investigated, but we're told it was never substantiated by the network. These same sources say that there was never a pow 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 present during filming. After that, Kenya ended up displaying not so safe for work posters of her co-star at her own hair spa grand opening while Brittany wasn't there. Brittany had been there earlier, but apparently had left. Bravo launched an investigation into this, and in the end, we're told Kenya's behavior was found to be in violation of their code of conduct. I have to remind you, please remember, when Bethany Frankel started the reality TV reckoning, and they received multiple legal letters, Bravo and NBC Universal updated their policies and procedures and asked the same of their third-party productions to do the same. So the code of conduct, for those that keep saying, well, this happened, how many years ago, and look what's happening now, their code of conduct has been updated. What happened years ago shouldn't have happened, period. That should not be justification for Kenya's behavior if this is what she did. That should not be your justification. As your mother used to say when you were younger, 2 wrongs don't make a right. They're both wrong. So they said that she was in violation of their code of conduct. So despite this, we're told Kenya still feels wronged, with sources familiar with the situation saying her safety concerns are a huge part of the disconnect between her and the network right now. And they're not just seeing eye to eye. So two sides of this story, there are two sides of the story, obviously. Kenya's former co-star Candy Burris, as you know, came to her defense following the news of her suspension, so she's clearly has RHOA folks still in her corner. So they remind us that Bravo has faced a number of issues this year itself, with the network being hit with separate lawsuits from ex-housewives Leah McSweeney, Caroline Manzo, and they're all being litigated in court right now. So in terms of what Kenya may or may not do next is to be determined. Another thing that we need to remind you guys, ahead of this reboot, you saw Kenya did that interview with Carlos King. And she was saying some things that made people think, is Kenya not coming back next season? Remember when we recapped that interview? And then her social media behavior during that time made us think, wait a minute, is Kenya not coming back? Well, then according to sources that I heard from, they were saying that Kenya was not even the top choices for the reboot. Apparently, the people that they were bringing back were Candy and Portia. And when Candy dropped out, allegedly, that's when Kenya was brought in, because they still wanted, they know RHOA is special and they can't just bring in a bunch of new people like they did on RHONY. RHONY was special at one point too, but then you had nothing but single women on RHONY. Her relationship with the network, they will never confirm this, but from what I've heard, allegedly, has not been great in recent years. Part of the reason why it was very imperative that Kenya sort of toe the line for this next season, because it would help her grand opening, it would help her hair spa being on the show. But part of me thought, because they didn't feature it last season, Kenya wanted to have a big moment so that this scene would be guaranteed to be on the show. And I've been saying this the last few videos covering the story, but I don't think Kenya realized that she just went too far. I'm going to keep saying allegedly because we don't know for sure, but what we do know is what we saw on that leaked video footage. And even that was too far. Guys, as always, I know you have strong opinions no matter what team you're on. I always remind you to be Team You because you don't know these people. Let's continue this conversation on Kenya Moore not returning to The Real Housewives of Atlanta. What does that mean for you, and if you will watch next season? As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. Thanks for watching.
Here we go now.